variable. So a random variable is going to be of two types, either discrete or continuous. Discrete random variables are those variables where your output is going to be in a countable format. For examples, number of floors in a building. So you can count the number of floors, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of printing mistakes in a book. You can count the exact number of mistakes, first mistake, second mistake, third mistake. Number of students present in this class. So you can count 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20. So wherever you can count the number of variables, those are going to be your discrete random variables. Whenever there is going to be a gradual change, those would come under continuous random variable category. So what are examples of continuous random variables? For example, weight of a person. Weight of a person can be 75 kg. It can increase to 75.2 kg, or it can be 75.21 kg. It is not required that after 75 it will increase to another natural number, which is 76. It can take any gradual value between 75 to 76. Or you can consider another example for continuous variable, which is age of a person. Age of a person can be 15 years, 3 months, 4 days, 5 seconds old, or it can be 15 months, 4 days, 3 hours, and 2 minutes. So again, the age can be gradual. It is not required that after 15 years, that person is directly going to be 16 years. There is no going to be in between stop. So whenever there is going to be a gradual change, those variables are going to be are continuous random variables. So discrete means countable and continuous means gradual. Then we have seen second part. In second part, we had to calculate probability mass functions. For any discrete random variable, a probability mass function will be defined in two cases. First case, that all the values of these probabilities should lie between 0 and 1. Value of probability cannot be less than 0, or it cannot be more than 1. And second case or second condition is that addition of all these probabilities should give you your answer as 1. As you have seen, percentage, maximum percentage is always going to be 100. Therefore, similarly in probability, maximum probability is going to be 1. And if you are adding all the probabilities of success and failures, then addition of all those probabilities should be equal to 1. After which we have seen CDF, which is denoted by a capital letter F of X. And CDF is cumulative distribution function. Cumulative means additive function. Therefore, to get your cumulative value, you're going to add all the probabilities until that point. In yesterday's example, we have seen find cumulative distribution functions of f of 2. It means that all the values will be added till the point of 2. Next point included to find expected value, that is represented by mu, variance denoted by sigma square, and standard deviation, which is under root of variance, which is denoted by sigma. To calculate those values, we'll first draw a table. First column includes your values of X. Second column includes values of probabilities. Third column is multiplication of random variables into those probabilities. And fourth is multiplication of random variables into your third column. Expected value is summation of P of I into X of I. Therefore, the addition or summation of your third column is going to be your expected value. Your variance formula is your summation of P of I into X of I the whole square minus of X of expected value the whole square. So the first term P of I X of I square we get from addition of fourth column, and the expected value we have already got from our third column. We just subtract and we get answer. The answer for our variance should always be greater than or equal to 0. It cannot be negative. And after which we have seen standard deviation. Standard deviation is just taking square root of that. For continuous random variables, we have seen one particular example where suppose we went to a market and we ordered that we wanted 1 kg of apples. The vendor won't give exactly 1 kg, or that is 1000 grams. It can be 1050 grams, or it can be 990 grams. What we'll get is a range which is closer to 1000, and the range value is going to be maximum around 1000, and as we go away the range is going to be gradually decreasing. So whenever we are getting values which are changing gradually, like in this particular case, we are going to find the entire area, not just value at one particular point, because we can't get value at one particular point as in our discrete functions. How do we find area of a particular region? For that we are going to use a discrete, for that we are going to use our integral functions. What is an integer? Integer is nothing but your area under the curve. For that we have also seen definite integral properties, where you can solve a definite integral by substituting upper limit minus lower limit. Today we'll continue with those, and we'll see some of the questions which have appeared in your board exams. So type in yes if you can see the green screen. First we'll start with those questions which have appeared in your board exam 2019. Perfect, thank you. So this is a random variable distribution, or PDF probability distribution, which is given to you 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So as it is given at points, we can say that it is a discrete probability distribution function. And P of X, the probabilities are given, which is 0.45, 0.35, 0.15, not 3 and not 2. What you have to do is calculate the value of variance. So to calculate value of variance, first draw a table with 4 columns. First column is your random variables and second column is your probabilities. So random variables are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Your probabilities are also given to you. So just write down those probabilities as well. In third column, we are going to get our expected value. Formula for expected value is summation of P of I into X of I. That is multiply first and second column. So multiplying, I am going to get these values. 3 into 0.3 is 0.9 and 4 into 0.02 is 0.08. And in fourth, I'm going to multiply first column and third column, because I am going to need value of P of I into X of I the whole square while calculating my variance. So first into third column, 0 into 0 is 0, 1 into 0.35, 0.35 as it is, 2 into 30, 60, this would be 27, and 8 4s are 32. Calculate your addition of all this. Addition of all this comes to 0.82. So that is your expected value, and addition of all this comes to 1.54. Therefore, your expected value or mean was 0.82. You were asked to calculate your variance. Variance formula is summation of Pi xi square minus of expected value the whole square. Pi xi square is 1.54 minus of expected value square. Expected value is 0.82. So if you simplify this, you get your answer as 0.8676. Let's see another question which was asked in your board exams in 2019. So a function was given to you which is equal to x square upon 18, and this function was defined on the range of x between -3 to 3. So now over here a range is given, which means that it is a continuous random variable distribution function, and elsewhere the value is 0. What you had to calculate is P of x less than 1 and value of P of mod of x less than 1. So probabilities of x less than 1. It means less than 1 means maximum value can be 1. So your upper limit is 1. And what is your lower limit? From your question, you can see that your lower limit is minus of 3. The function is given as sorry, x square upon 18. Take integration of this term. Integration of x square is x cube by 3. 18 into 3, 54. And limits are from minus 3 to 1. Substitute upper limit. Instead of x, I put 1. So that would be 1 cube, that is 1. Minus of, substitute lower limit. Substitute minus 3. So minus 3 cube is minus 27. Minus into minus would be plus. So 27 by 54. That is equal to 28 by 54. And 28 by 54 is 14 by 27. So go through these two examples. If you have any doubts, ask them. So Rohit, Rutvik, Kiran, Bharti, did you get these two questions? Okay, yes, perfect. Lokesh, good. No doubts. Okay, perfect. So we'll move on to the next slide of questions. These questions were asked in your 2017. A probability distribution was given to you, which is where x is equal to, it had values of 0, 1, 2, and 3. And probability values were given to you, which are 1 by 8, 3 by 8, 3 by 8, and 1 by 8. If you recall, we have already seen this particular question. This question is nothing but when your 3 coins are tossed and x is your probability of heads. And we have already calculated expected value, mean, variance, and standard deviations. So in this particular case, you had to calculate your expected value and variance. So I think this is a pretty easy question. A function was given which is equal to x upon 8, and values of x were mentioned, that x is between 0 and 4. You had to calculate your CDF and then find the value of CDF at points 0.5, 1.7, and at 0.5. CDF is nothing but addition of all those probabilities until that point. First, you need to find the CDF, which is denoted by f of x. Formula for CDF is minus infinity to x f of x dx. In this particular case, your lower limit is mentioned. Lower limit is how much? 0. Upper limit, we are calculating x. So whatever value we are going to mention, that is going to be our upper limit. And f of x value is also given. F of x value is x by 8. Therefore, I can say that taking integration of x square by 2, it's upon 8. So 8 2s are 16. And my limits are from 0 to x. I'll put my upper limit and then minus my lower limit. Instead of x, I'll write x. So that's going to be same thing. It's going to be x square upon 16 minus of, I'll put 0. 0 square by 16 is 0. Therefore, my f of x is x square by 16. Next, I want values of f of 0.5. So instead of x, I'll just write 0.5. So that will be 0.5 square upon 16. 0.5 is nothing but half. Half square is 1 by 4. 1 by 4 upon 16 is 1 by 64. I want value of f of 1.7. So simply I'll put 1.7 over here, the whole square upon 16. 1.7 square, 17 square is 289, decimals to other side. So 2.89 by 16. The last one is interesting, where we had to calculate value of f of 5. Now notice this question. In this question, it was given that my entire range is from 0 to 4. So if I'm asked to calculate the value until 0.5, I can write that is also equal to values of all the points from 0 till 4 plus values of the points which are after 4. And after 4, the values are going to be 0. Therefore, I can say that this value is equal to 1. Why is it 1? Because it contains your entire range from 0 to 4. So if you draw your graph, the graph lies between 0 to 4. And you have been asked the addition of probabilities till 0.5. If you consider addition of all these probabilities from 0 to 4, addition of all these probabilities is going to be equal to 1. And addition of probabilities from 4 to 5, this portion is going to be 0. So answer is going to be 1 plus 0, or I can say 1. So go through this question. If you have any doubts, you can ask. So you have 30 more seconds. If you have any particular doubt in particular step, type in the chat box. Okay, so next we'll see questions which have been asked from your 2018 board exams. As I said earlier, every year there will be 2 questions which appear, either for 4 and 2 marks or for 2 and 2 marks. In 2018, probability distribution was given, which is equal to 3 minus x by 10, where x is equal to -1, 0, 1, and 2. And elsewhere it is 0. So as values are given at particular points, we can say that this is a discrete random variable distribution. I had to calculate value of my expected value. So how can I calculate my expected value? I'm going to draw a table. First is going to be my x, then I have my probabilities. X values are given -1, 0, 1, and 2. Probability values are not given directly, instead an equation is given. So if I substitute my values in this equation, I'll get my probabilities. If instead of x, I'll write -1 over here, I'll get 3 minus -1, that is 4 by 10. If I substitute in 0, it will be 3 minus 0, that's 3 by 10. If I put in 1, I will get 3 minus 1, that is 2 by 10. And if I put in 2, I'll get 3 minus 2, that is 1 upon 10. The third step involves multiplication of first and second bracket, that is p of I into x of I. Therefore, I can say that just multiply these two, -1 and 4 by 10. That's -4 by 10. 0 into anything is 0 itself. 1 into 2 by 10 is 2 by 10. And 2 into 1 by 10 is 2 by 10. Expected value is nothing but summation or addition of all of these terms. So if I add all of these, 10, and in numerator I have -4 plus 4, so 0 by 10, which is 0. Therefore, what is my expected value? Expected value is equal to 0. Now, variance was not asked in this particular question, but even if variance were asked or standard deviation was asked, we can easily calculate that. For that, we'll just have to consider our fourth column, which is obtained by multiplying first and third column. So if I calculate these two, I'll get 4 by 10. 0 into anything is 0. Over here, it would be 2 by 10, and this will be 4 by 10. Summation of these terms is going to be 4 plus 4, 8, plus 2, 10. That's 10 by 10, or I can say that is equal to 1. Therefore, my variance is going to be equal to summation of pi xi square minus of expected value the whole square. Pi xi square I get, which is equal to 1, minus of expected value the whole square, that is 0 square. 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. Let's see another question. This question was not asked from product distribution, it came from your binomial distribution. But we'll solve this. This was again asked in 2018. Expected value was given to you, and variance was also given to you, which is 4.2. You had to find values of n and p. So in binomial distribution, value of your expected value or formula for expected value is n into p, and formula for variance in binomial distribution is n into p into q. Therefore, I can say that expected value is given as 6, which is equal to n into p, and variance is given as 4.2, which is equal to n into p into q. Instead of writing n into p, I know that value, which is equal to 6, so I'll write 6 into q, which gives me value of q, which is equal to 6 1 the 0.7 the. Therefore, q is equal to 0.7. Addition of p and q should always be equal to 1. Therefore, if q is 0.7, value of p is equal to 0.3. This plus this should be 1, or I can say p is equal to 1 minus q. If q is equal to 0.9, p would be 0.1. If q is 0.5, p would be 0.5. If q is 0.2, then p would be 0.8. So I got values of p and q. I also need the value of n. So I'll just substitute this value in this particular equation. Suppose this equation is equation number 1. Therefore, I can say that 4.2 is equal to n into p, which is 0.3, into q. Q is equal to how much? Q is equal to 0.7. Therefore, 4.2 is equal to n into 0.3 into 0.7, that is 0.21. 1s are 2s are 0, which means n is equal to how many? 20. Remember that n is always going to be a number. If you are getting value of n as 20.2, that means you have solved wrong and you need to check your answer again. So go through this question and type in if you have any particular doubts. Okay, so I'll explain this once again. A binomial distribution is given, x is given as binomial distribution where n is equal to 10, p is equal to 0.4 and q is equal to 0.6. You have to find expected value and variance. Expected value formula is n into p. Just substitute the formulas. 10 into 0.4 is 4 and variance is n into p into q. You have p as 0.4, therefore q would be 1 minus 0.4, that is 0.6. Substituting in this formula, you get your value, which is equal to 2.4. So we'll stop over here. In next lecture, we'll continue with a new chapter of binomial distribution, and we'll see some more questions from our board exams for this chapter. So, thank you everyone.